Clear UFO footage. Back in 2011, a strange object appeared over Denton in Manchester, UK, and stayed there. The person who recorded the video reported a large metallic cigar-shaped UFO lingering high in the sky for nearly 40 minutes. Barely visible to the naked eye, the object hovered silently, then slowly rose until it was no longer seen. The footage, captured with a shaky full-zoom camera, shows a reflective craft glinting in daylight, described by some as the best UFO ever recorded. Once stabilized, the video reveals key details: lights embedded on both sides of the object, flickering in patterned, multicolored sequences that suggested intelligent control. These lights weren't reflections. They were described as built into the metallic surface, hinting at advanced or unknown technology. The object remained motionless for long periods, unaffected by wind or air currents, making it unlikely to be a drone, weather balloon, or commercial aircraft. Some even speculated the UFO was coordinating smaller orb-like objects only visible frame by frame. While no official explanation was provided, enthusiasts continue to debate its origin. If it's man-made, one viewer commented, "Why would it just float above a city, flashing lights for an hour? What is that?" On the morning of December 24, 2025, a passenger aboard a flight from Munich to Hamburg witnessed a strange encounter around 7:40 a.m. while flying over Hanover. At first, the observer assumed they were looking at two birds outside the aircraft window. But within moments, the movements and shapes of the objects proved to be far from ordinary. Captured in 3 photographs, the dark objects displayed unnatural forms, sharp, angular structures in one moment, and seemingly morphing or folding in midair the next. One image shows what appears to be a sleek, dart-like shape, while another reveals a complex, multi-limbed formation that doesn't resemble any known bird, drone, or man-made craft. The witness reports that the objects shifted in ways that didn't align with known flight patterns, almost as if they were bending physics. The shock wasn't limited to passengers. The stewardess, visibly unsettled, escorted the witness to the captain, who admitted he couldn't identify what was seen either. With no radar alerts or announcements made, the objects remain unidentified. Their behavior, silent, erratic, and coordinated, adds to the mystery. Were they some kind of advanced aerial technology, biological entities, or something entirely unknown? For now, all that remains are the sightings and the questions. The footage leaves viewers wondering, was it military misidentified or something truly beyond our current understanding? Now, here's where things get really interesting. On February 19, 2022, at 6:01 p.m., a passenger aboard a commercial flight from Montrose, Colorado to Los Angeles encountered a similar incident while flying over the Utah-Nevada region. At cruising altitude, likely between 30,000 and 36,000 feet, the passenger spotted a small, dark object in the distance. It didn't resemble any typical aircraft. Curious, the passenger quickly took a video of the mysterious object. The object appeared to be hovering or moving slowly in the sky. It had no contrail, no navigation lights, and no clear aerodynamic shape. At first glance, it could be mistaken for a bird, but commercial aircraft fly much higher than most bird species can reach. In fact, statistical data supports that. Over 90% of bird strikes happen below 1,500 meters, around 5,000 feet, and most birds fly far below cruising altitude. While geese and vultures have been observed at high elevations, even those rarely exceed 30,000 feet. The odds of encountering such wildlife at that altitude, in those conditions, are extremely low. And what's more is that this year on February 21st, another individual caught something similar to this. So, with all these encounters, this leaves us with the question, what was it? It didn't match any known aircraft or weather phenomena, and it wasn't high enough to be a satellite. With only one video and no official report, the object remains unidentified. No definitive answers have surfaced, and thus, the video remains a mystery. The black object. On the morning of June 23, 2024, an unidentified flying object was captured hovering in the skies over Moscow. The video, now circulating online, shows a distinctly dark object flying against a backdrop of clear blue. At first glance, it appeared motionless, drawing attention due to its unusual shape and seemingly deliberate presence in the air. Zoomed-in frames from the footage reveal a black asymmetrical form that doesn't resemble any known aircraft, bird, or drone. It lacks visible wings, rotors, or propulsion systems, yet remains steadily airborne. The object appears to slightly shift or tilt as it floats, giving off an impression of intelligent balance or control, rather than drifting like a balloon. What's more interesting is that nearby eyewitnesses reported that the mysterious object did not emit sound, light, or leave behind any trail. Its shape is particularly striking, resembling a warped teardrop or compact organic form, but not aligning with any common man-made objects. So far, there's been no official statement from local authorities or airspace control. Some skeptics speculate it could be a drone or experimental device, while others believe it may belong to a category of unexplained aerial phenomena. For now, it remains exactly that, unexplained. What do you think this object could be? Drone? Debris? Or something not yet identified by science? UFO in Iraq. A strange vertical object was recorded in the sky above Saladin, Iraq in recently surfaced footage that has now been enhanced with zoom and high contrast for clarity. At first glance, the dark form appears static against a pale sky, but the shape and behavior quickly rule out ordinary explanations. The object displays no wings, no visible propulsion, and no balloon-like tether. It maintains a hovering posture that seems almost too still, too precise. Its sharp edges and upright orientation don't resemble birds or conventional aircraft. The footage shows the object slowly rotating or drifting, but always keeping a consistent, rigid shape, not folding or swaying like a balloon would. The sky around it appears still, with no weather activity or strong winds that might influence its movement. Given the lack of sound, light, or supporting infrastructure, many are calling it an unidentified aerial phenomenon. While skeptics might suggest a drone or debris, the stillness, altitude, and behavior don't match typical profiles. What was hovering silently over Saladin that day? A misidentified man-made craft, or something unknown? For now, the footage offers no clear answer, only a persistent, eerie silence in the sky. Multiple UFO sighting. Just before I move to the next point, if you are new here and enjoy mysterious, unexplained UFO sightings, then do subscribe to our channel and click on the bell icon to never miss a video. On the evening of August 4, 2025, shortly after sunset, residents near Long Lake in Naples, Maine, reported a wave of glowing orange orbs moving across the sky. A family watching from their dock witnessed what first appeared to be two lights, but were soon joined by dozens more. The lights emerged one by one from above the tree line, traveling silently across the lake at irregular intervals.
They come.
3. I can't, this is so blurry. You don't see anything? Should send this into the news channel. They're like little balls of...
The objects followed no strict flight path. Some moved independently, while others seemed to glide in loosely formed groups, including a triangular pattern that resembled known military formations. Described as having a glowing red-orange base, the orbs had a flickering, fire-like quality and made no sound whatsoever. Altitude was estimated between 1,000 and 3,000 feet. There was no wind on the ground, and the lights moved too quickly and too precisely to be explained by lanterns or drifting balloons. No visible aircraft were detected on flight radar at the time of the sighting. According to independent UFO researchers, the orbs may have been ocean UFOs surfacing from a nearby water-based origin. With 75% of Earth covered in water, the theory suggests a hidden base could exist off the coast. Others point to the orbs' synchronized movements as a kind of demonstration, possibly a warning or a statement. Whether experimental tech, advanced drones, or something else entirely, these glowing orbs remain unidentified. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe to our channel to watch new videos.